Hello everyone, welcome back to Goosebumps HorrorTown playthrough. Grim here, and tonight we're going to be taking a look at part 1 of this new update that came back after the Welcome to Camp Nightmare event that happened past in June going into July. This one is quite interesting because it brings back a character that, believe it or not, was originally in the actual book Night of the Living Dummy. If you don't know, Slappy was featured in it, but he wasn't the main character. He was actually the twist in that book. But really, the person in this Welcome to character, as you can probably read, is that of MrWood. Now, MrWood is a new character, and he is permanent. He's going to be acting somewhat like Slappy. You'll see what I mean in a second. But I will be showing you a little bit of this. Now, this is weird because in the update, there was conflicting book things. One of them said it's like Night of the Living Dummy 2. The other one is my evil twin is, I'm Slappy's evil twin or something like that. But none of them have that quote. It's just the talent show. So that's why the title is MrWood and the Talent Show. Because there's no real, you know, like, I don't know what it is. It's bizarre. But anyways, I might as well start rambling on. Let's just go right in and see what we have with it. So the game starts up. As you can see, nothing has been added yet. This is just after the update has loaded in. So there's nothing in the side stories nor in the main stories as of yet. The promenade has just changed back to normal. As you see, Saber has gotten his requests back, except now for some reason the campfire as well as the log is no longer there. I'm wondering why that's the case. Anyways, if we're just waiting for it to load, yeah, okay. As you can see, promenade's back to normal. I wonder why it's called the promenade, by the way. It's just the event area, but still, you know. Anyways, let's gonna take a quick look over here. Nothing really new. We got to look at what this area is. What results in my camp from the last video we saw. Not really the last video. The last video you probably saw was the stay out of the basement, but I mean like in chronological order. After the campfire camping event, we got this. But regardless, yeah, usually these types of beginning of the videos is just kind of like showing off what like updates come up later on. But the character that we're gonna get, it's interesting because there was no real drawing of him. There were like two. One of them was like this card that was featuring him, I believe. Believe it or not, the Korean book also had an image of him, which is surprising because most of the books has just had like Slappy on there anyways. And then the last version of him was actually the recently remixed graphic novel, which had a picture of him like right over here. But anyways, after that, we get MrWood's pack. He comes with MrWood, which is 400. Ooh, that's a lot. Got his statue, which is a unique item. We got a paper crafts, which is normal. Actually, hold on a second. We got that. Okay, so he has like 40% power on that type of stuff. We got some bucks and some extra items here. And it seems like we got up until 3 days to actually get this all said and done. So there he is, close up, MrWood. And we also have in the amphitheater, it looks like this is actually going to be a new spawn scene. So that's actually quite interesting. And ooh, what do we have here? Looks like we got Sam back. Interesting. Now, if you didn't buy him during the Halloween update, this is how much he costs in coins. So that's not too bad. So it looks like he's a freemium moving forward. Interesting. It seems like these characters, they're actually like the Halloween update characters. They seem like they're kind of giving them a... Yeah, so it seems like he's staying too. So it looks like they're kind of giving these guys a spot in a book. Maybe it has something to do with a special option. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, this is what I was talking about before, the fact that there's no book title with him with, you know, Living Dummy 2 or I Masked Slappy's Evil Twin. None of that. Which is bizarre to me because, you know, it's just weird. But anyways, we're going to see... What else is there to see here? There's a bunch, actually. Anyways. The west of the... I don't know if... I think that might be a new area. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah. There we go. But as you can see, it seems like Curly has a quest for us. But before we do that, I just want to take a quick look at if there's anything new here. I don't really think there is, but... Okay, wait, so the berry bush is here, and it looks like it drops the berry stuff. That actually changes into that of just having dropped nuts. But anyways, fading a little while, we get the new item here. I think the only new item, which is the ticket stand. And it actually looks pretty interesting. It's not too much, it's about like, what, 2,000 coins? And you know what, I'm going to probably put it right over here for now. I think I'm going to make that little area the, what do you call it? The little theater area, but, you know, let's take a quick look. This is what it looks like up close. I actually see someone drew a little skull with the dust pins here. But yeah, we got that going on here. That's the only bundle, by the way. For me, it's like 12 Canadian bucks, whereas in America it's probably 9 something. It's a little bit steep, I must say. Especially since it's just coming with wood and not really the amphitheater. Mind you, the amphitheater doesn't cost that much, but still, the bundles and everything just seems a little bit off. Anyways, here's the amplified theater. We got some spawns here. One of them that requires $1. I don't know why. And then of course we got MrWood, which has a lot here. But anyways, I stole long enough. Let's go ahead and see what this new quest is about. Shall we?
Word on the street is that HorrorTown is going to have a talent show. I wonder if monsters are eligible to compete. If mean, if only humans can enter, I think that to be downright discriminatory.
Oh man, I bet I can win this talent show with my dancing skills. I'm going to enter right now.
If mean, Curly? Don't you mean I mean? Okay, so play Sam's house, which we've already done because we've done this in the Halloween update you've probably seen in my playlist before. He has the same quest, nothing new, so let's have him dance happy, which you've seen before, so I'm not going to bother with kind of zooming in on that. If you're curious about all his animation, you can go look at the Halloween, Haunted Halloween update. It seems like the Haunted Halloween update, they're giving these characters, some sort of purpose, like adding them to a book that isn't from the movie. I'm assuming they're doing that so that way, when it comes to adding these books, that they can give them some sort of story. Like, having Walter be added to, I think, Welcome to Camp Nightmare, and having Sam here being entered into the, I guess, this talent show story. But I'm kind of curious to see what Sonny and his sister, Quinn, will be added in. Quinn is like the premium bundle, so I'm wondering if they're going to add them in an event or if they're going to add them with an update. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like these characters are here to stay, and it looks like from the end of the fact that Walter's in the back there, I believe Walter and probably even Saber is like a later level update. So that's interesting. Maybe they're actually starting to add stories to this. This, actually, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if this is the case, because since we got this book update like near the end of October going into November, we always had speculation of what the special book's going to be. Alright, and then at this point they also fixed this, so now all this stuff is back. Now, what is interesting is if it's stuff with Campfire and the log, if you do get Saber, is there a way you can actually buy this item in the shop, or you get it for free? Because I think if you're buying this character, up front now. Although I feel like he's worth it because he's not that bad. Makes you wonder if there's actually going to be some sort of interesting movement with that. But you never know. There's nothing really with Slappy too that's new, which is interesting because you would think for a dummy update he would have something new, but no. It doesn't look like he has anything really new to show up as of now. So I'm interested to see what else might be added on here. And yeah, nothing new with her. I know it probably wasn't the case, but you know. You never know. That would be interesting to see if they actually do add some of these stories here. So it makes me wonder if they're moving forward, they're actually going to keep the characters from seasonal events, because both Walter and Saber has stayed. If that makes sense. It's hard to explain it, but you know, it's something I've noticed. Anyways, here's a close-up of the amplified feeder. It doesn't look that bad, actually. It's weird that some perspectives is like small and others are large. But anyways, after a purchase later, we get MrWood and we get this unique item of his, which is a statue. Now, the statue itself doesn't drop any scares, so it's just a statue. But I wanted to take a quick look at this because this looks terrifying in a sense. Like, look at this. He's evil with fire, and he's sitting on top of like a carcasses of dead monsters. So, whereas, and I'm gonna show this off because I am gonna bring up the other statue with Slappy here, because this is an interesting contrast, like good and like evil and eviler, right? So I think this is what they're doing. So you get to Slappy here, right? You have the green eyes, and you have the dead bodies of bones of human carcasses, right? So this gives off an interesting perspective. On the one hand, you have Slappy here, who looks like he's going after humans, but then you have MrWood, that looks like he's more mean and menacing, and he's actually going after monsters. So, are they kind of implying here that MrWood is more eviler than Slappy, that he actually goes after everybody, while Slappy himself is more of the kind of guy who goes after like humans, but not so much monsters? Like, you know, he manipulates monsters, but he doesn't really attack them. It's in a way he's kind of like, what do you call it, like a leader to the monsters. Whereas it seems like with MrWood, he's a type, he looks like the kind of character that just despises everybody except for himself. So I'm wondering if that's the thing that they're going with this little idea here, but I'm not 100% sure. We're gonna have to wait and see how this story plays out. We get to see a little bit of the new dialogue with how Slappy's gonna sound, as well as with MrWood. I had an idea of how they both sound like, but yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. So here's MrWood's place, which actually looks a lot more decrepit and uglier looking than Slappy's. So let's click on this. We got MrWood, and we're going to start his quest. So let's see what he has to say for himself, shall we?
MrWood and Slappy are so much alike, yet they dislike each other immensely. I've heard such things are common in sibling rivalry. You see, when two brothers compete...
Shut up, Curly. I don't want to hear about MrWood. I'm so sick of that guy.
Oh dear.
This town isn't big enough for both of us. It's going to be him or me.
Now, this is the... Okay, so obtain ectoplasm, obtain a sparkling medallion, obtain carnival ticket. So you need Coco's clown. You also need the maze thing. So that's interesting because you can't really complete this quest unless you unlocked the history museum with the evil knight. Which, by the way, he's still waiting for a book for him. And oh, ooh, what's this? $196. Hey now, That's not a bad deal, but I think that's a glitch, so I wouldn't be surprised if it changes to money, but still, kind of fun to see that going on. But yeah, I've decided to, I've looked at a few people, I've talked to them, and asked them what exactly, how Slappy MrWood should sound like, and I've kind of came up with this conclusion. And also, I want to show you something real interesting. So, I had him dancing near the what do you call it? The fire, and yet he kind of got misplaced, so it looks like he's dancing on the stage. It looks weird. I mean, you know, it's not dancing in the campfire, but, you know, the fact that he's on top of the stage there actually makes it seem like it's fitting. So, you know, it works out for now. So that was a fun little catch for me. But anyways, I talked within the community, and I kind of made a conclusion that Slappy should sound like the Joker, played by Mark Hamill, and MrWood should sound like Danny DeVito. I don't know why that's the case, or why someone suggested that, but I'm like, you know what? Why not? And there's this weird thing, like, I think some voice actors do this as well, but it's like, I have this weird Tourette's. Not really Tourette's, but it's like character Tourette's. When a certain word's being said, I can't help it but say it in that character's word, because of this, how it's been memed within the culture. Oh yeah, and I love this, the fact that she's just stuck in like limbo again. But yeah, when it comes to Danny DeVito, I can't help but, like, to get in the role, I have to do the whole Always Sunny in Philadelphia, kind of him pronouncing the word trash. You know, I can't, you know, with garbage. You cannot say that without him kind of doing that impression. I don't know what it is. It's just, it was funny when he did it. So now it's just ingrained in my mind. Anytime I hear trash or garbage, I just have to do it in the Danny, like the trash man, that kind of voice. So I kind of did something within that, and I think after this we should have all the items needed. So, yep. Okay. So here's the next part to this quest.
I think it's time for you to leave town, Mr. Wood. Everyone's sick of having you around. I get it, Slappy. You can't stand being shown up. I wouldn't like it in your place either.
I don't know why I get... It's like, hold on.
You think you're so great? Then let's see if you can beat me in an evil contest.
Evil contest, eh?
I like it. Only the most evil dummy gets to stay. I'm sure to win.
I don't know why MrWood kind of sounds like a southerner all of a sudden. Just with my accent, it just sounded so...
Let's see. What can I find to stir up some evil in this sleepy town? Here's a grave of a dog. I sense deep anger that I can evoke. Rise, doghound! Unleash your rage upon this city. Take your revenge! Yes! Howl at the heavens, ghost hound! Form terror upon everyone you see.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, how MrWood comes off as very, like, compared to Slappy, he seems really more eviler. Despite the fact that he's wearing, like, a turtle, like a flannel, what do you call them, a flannel? I'm not sure. I'm sure Mr. R.L. Stein described how MrWood would look, and I have to remind myself and read that section, how he's described, because it's like he's wearing a flannel or something like that, and he just gives off this, like, he looks like the dummy that shouldn't be evil, but he is. He's like the worst one, despite the one that looks like he's class. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that we have now two somewhat villains in this point. We got Slappy, and then we got MrWood, so I'm quite intrigued to see where this storyline kind of goes off from here. But this is like a short quest line, so yeah, it's weird because it seems like they're kind of going with, like, putting it into an actual story, but for now there's like no book associated with it or anything of that sort, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, let's take a good look at this guy. Man, you know, Mr. Wood, why do you always have to show your back? I wanna see your face. Can you turn, like, right or down? No, you're just gonna keep on walking up front. I want to see your face, Mr. Wood. Can I? Alright, you know, I give up right now. I'm gonna have to look at you later. I want to see that face of his, because compared to Slappy, he looks interesting. He looks special. There he is. Ooh, look at that face. Oh, goody. And there he is. So let's see. Have an outburst of anger. Ride a radio flyer vehicle. A wagon, I should say, sorry. Doing a toilet paper prank on Slappy's house and dance. I'm interested to see what this dancing is going to be like. Is he going to be as fly as Slappy? Let's find out. Oh no, we're going to have him just be angry. Wow, look at that rage. He's just smacking his head. Like, man, that shows you true rage right there. Like him being really pissed off at something. Damn, I wouldn't even think Slappy had like an anger, but yeah, no, him having fire kind of now shows how evil this guy is. But anyways, we're gonna see what this looks like here with his premium dummy. Oh, ew, is he throwing up? He is, he's throwing up. He's doing it. He's throwing up, oh God. He's like, what is it? He's like throwing up exorcism style. Just vomit all over the place. And this is funny because in the story, with the image I kind of, like, showed earlier with, Mr. Wood strangling a kid to death, there was another one with him vomiting all over the place. And that's like a trait, for some reason, that the dummy can do. And it's weird because both of these dummies, I think I've explained it before, but when like, I think it was Mr. Wood that turned into gas when he died, but then Slappy was like a worm or something. I don't know, it's so weird, like, how this works, but I remember, like, he gets hit and there's like this green Noxus gas comes out, like, oh. It's just so dumb. And then what was it? Like, the end of, like, Night of the Living Dummy 2, it was, turns out that the dummy that helped him actually was the real Dennis, and he sounded like Goofy. He's like, it's good to be back in the family again. Yeah, so there's that. I didn't get the happy and sad face, but I'm sure when I do that later. And here's the end result of this nice looking theater place I did back there. Anyways, he's done being mad. I think now we're gonna have him dance. So he went from being angry, so let's see how cool he is with his dance moves. Yeah, let him bring some customers into the diner. Let's see this. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know what you call that. Look at this move. Look at this dancing. It's not as fly as Slappy, but it's something. You know what? That would be interesting if I actually had Slappy be able to dance. That would be funny to see both of them trying to dance it off. But yeah, no animation for him dancing, unfortunately. For now. But you know, whatever. I think we're gonna end it off with him just doing this. I think that's good. Anyways, yeah, so that's about it for what this whole Slappy thing looks like. Or not Slappy, but Mr. Wood. So the next part is going to be the last one, and it's going to be basically looking at all the quest lines associated with this event. It's not an event, but a little short add-on. It's quite interesting to see how this whole thing will play out, but other than that, I'm interested to see where this takes us. But, you know, if you like what you see, maybe you can leave a like or comment down below. Let me know what you think, and if you have not already, you can subscribe if you like this type of content. I'm always interested to see what you guys have to say. This will also be interesting because there's another game coming out, which I made a video out already, which is the Addams Family game. And that will be interesting if I'm able to kind of do both of them at the same time. When I get to that, if I ever do get to that playthrough, I'll kind of explain with the other games I mentioned and why I don't do them here. But anyways, I'll speak more about that later. But regardless, this video is a little bit longer than it should be, so with that, we're going to end it off here. So thanks for watching again. I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, if you want to be funny, don't be a dummy.